What is a vamp blues? What is a vamp?
Yeah. 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 Now, when I was a young boy,
Hey guitar nerds, this is Rod Gell's Boomer Guitar Sessions, episode 28. Here we talk about another kind of blues, and what it is called is vamp blues. Doing research in this, it was kind of weird that I go online and there's not a whole lot of information on this, and it's done a whole lot. So anyway, this will be some unique information, I guess. I didn't think it was that overly like unique, but it's anyway, I don't see it anywhere. So what we're going to talk about today, what is a vamp? How do we practice it? How do we work it into our rhythm playing, our lead playing, our blues playing, our rock playing, or whatever playing? Okay. So to answer your question, of vamp is a repetitive musical phrase or groove. Now, usually these things are 1 to 4 measures in length. They are like okay, they're melodies, they're chords. They can be chords, they can be melodies, and then they can be a third kind, which is chords and melodies together, which is a lot of the time what we see. Okay, so what we're going to get into is we're going to talk about where the vamp comes from. The vamp that we listen to, it is an old Muddy Waters. We listen to the earliest stages of the Chicago blues. It probably even goes back to Delta blues, where you're just strumming on a chord and singing over top of it in a single chord. Okay, so that is a vamp. It's like basically what it is. It is a melody, and then within the melody, a lot of times there's countless variations. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that. How do we the history of it? So Muddy Waters, we have Howlin Wolf, we have the, which is Hubert Sumlin. Okay. That riff is that is a vamp blues. It's just that riff all the way over through the song. Stevie Ray, Jimi Hendrix. Okay. Okay. Muddy Waters. These are all 1-chord vamps. It doesn't necessarily, like, they can go into a 12-bar structure, but they don't have to. Okay, so how do we create this? John Lee Hooker, we can't forget John Lee Hooker. How do we create a vamp? Steps towards creating a vamp. So the first thing is understand that there are 3 kinds of vamps within the blues, within rock and roll, within whatever. The first kind of vamp is just a simple melody and a repetitive melody and call and response, kind of like improvisation over top of that melody. So you play the melody the same way all the time, and then there's a call and then you respond with some sort of improvised melody. Okay, so that's the first kind. Second kind of vamp is like really honing in on some of like a kind of like a Junior Walker and the All-Stars. That kind of vamp is just like a chord vamp. Borrows a lot from rhythm and blues at the same time, like jazz does it. Okay, chord vamp is just using James Brown. So with that said, the third kind of amp combines the two. So if I took that would be the third kind of amp. So today what we're going to check out, we're going to put under the microscope is just the kind of vamp that is a melody vamp, a riff vamp, as we call it. So using kind of like a Jimi Hendrix, kind of like Jimi Hendrix borrowed from Muddy Waters, borrowed from all the Chicago blues guys. That's your core bass melody. Okay, so these kinds of amps had something that was a constant. And then what you do, you play the simple melody, and it's not that hard, and it's usually a lot of times pentatonic in nature, okay? And then what we do is we repeat that melody until it's like a part of us, like. Okay, then what we can do after that is, okay, so listen to guys that play this kind of stuff. So that would be like Voodoo Child, that would be Catfish Blues, Jimi Hendrix. A lot of that kind of like, it's not Rolling Stone, right? Muddy Waters, Rolling Stone. Okay. Just a repetitive melody. And then what we can do is we can check out like what kind of scales do these and patterns and that kind of things does each of this style have. Okay. With that said, a lot of pentatonic, a lot of blues. And what I love about the kind of this Voodoo Child kind of vamp, if you're getting into lead guitar, we can get into the open minor pentatonic. That open minor pentatonic. And into the blues. Okay, so with that said, from there, play your core melody, play other melodies within the scale. If it's a minor pentatonic scale, okay. Next tip, listen to tracks and players that use this kind of blues. As I said, Hendrix is great at it, Muddy Waters. Listen to your heroes. When I say this, Jimi Hendrix was all the Kings, Muddy Waters, Howlin Wolf, all that stuff. Those were his idols. And then he went somewhere else with it. Okay, so Howlin Wolf, all the Chess records, Chicago Blues, Otis Rush, Freddie King, Albert King, B.B. King. But even some of like the Sun House, the old Delta Blues stuff. Check out some of that because you'll find some of that there. Real easy, quick tuning. You've heard of drop D tuning. This is drop G. Waters style. So that is drop G. And I just lowered my G note. Yep, perfect pitch. Not really. But anyway, so with that said, listen to the players in this style, copy their notes, mind for notes, get into the feel of it and immerse yourself into the sound of it. It's not always about the notes as much as it is to creating the sounds and the vibe of it. All right. Then this whole process of doing this with just single note stuff, carry on the same process with chord vamps. And then with chord and melody vamps. And that somebody could say that that Voodoo Child is a mixture of chord and melody. They would be right. It's not just, he's not just doing that. He's throwing chords. Later on he goes to town with it, and he goes all over the place and figure out what the patterns are, and be able to play the patterns all over the place. So also Delta blues tunings. You have your open D tuning, open E tuning, open G tuning, open A tuning. Those are the four. Open G and A are kind of the same. D and E are kind of the same. Okay, but they're worth looking at and listen to the guys doing it. And it's like, how can I make those sounds? It's a sound thing. It's not always just an absolutely note for note kind of thing. All right, start different kinds of vamps, all kinds of vamps, and it's like, listen to Voodoo Child Hendrix, listen to Voodoo Child Stevie Ray, and build your vocabulary. Listen to lots of John Lee Hooker. Lots of his tunes were a bunch of different blues vamps, just like one chord blues vamps. That's his style. All right. So until next time, this is Rod, Boomer Guitar Sessions. I thank you, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Hi, this is Rod from Boomer Guitar Sessions. I personally wanted to thank you for being part of our community. If you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. And this helps me spread my musical messages to all over the world. Thank you. I appreciate you. And always remember, you can do this.